Monty here, Shadle Park Geometry, and here we are on week 7, and it's Tuesday, October 27th. Okay, so Tuesday, October 27th. We are wrapping up topic 1. We're just finishing. Okay, so I call these skill builder weeks. Okay, we need to practice solving for a variable, the distributive property, and we want to write an equation given a line with slope and a point on the line. Now, this is the last item on the topics that I sent home in the mailer. Okay, we're just wrapping up the last of the items at the top of this page. Okay, so take a look at that. Otherwise, it's in your class notebook, the very first item under notes. Okay, all right. So don't forget Mathia, 20 minutes every week. And this is the first week I have offered a retake or makeup from last week's quiz. So if you don't like your grade, don't like the comments I gave you, just click and fix. You can also always come visit me during access time to get some help. All right? So let's get started. Today in class, we discussed how can we write an equation for any line. Okay, that's where we're starting. Okay, and here's some little tutorials. But before we do that, let's actually work on what I call substitute, replace, solve. Okay, because that's what we do in geometry. Okay, so let's take a look at this line. We could actually calculate the rise over the run, but they gave it to us. Down 5 over 3. They gave us the slope. They're also telling us a point on the line, 4, -1. Over 4, down 1. There it is. Now, the equation of a line looks like this. You're going to memorize that. Okay? And we're going to rewrite it given x1, y1. Okay? So, we have a y, we have a minus. We are given a y1 on that line. We're given the y1 on that line of -1. So, when we rewrite it, we're going to substitute that number, -1, in for y1. So, -1 equals the slope. M equals slope. Okay, so we're going to write in -5 over 3. Okay, -5 over 3. X minus what? X1. And in our case, it's the number 4, that coordinate point, 4. So 4. Parenthesis. We've solved the assignment. Okay? We rewrote the equation of a line. When we rewrote it, we substituted in the values that we were given, the slope and that point. So we replaced as we rewrote. In time, we'll learn to solve. We will learn this in time. Okay? So, step 1, substitute, replace, solve. Okay? Next page. Now, in middle school, all of you have done some solving for a variable. Algebra students, you've done a lot of it. Okay? So, hopefully, you remember drawing this little fence and balance, right? I'm an equal sign, and I got to keep it balanced. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. I want to isolate the variable x. I need to get rid of a +2. What's the opposite of a positive? negative. -2, -2. Write it on both sides of the equation on the equal sign. If I take away 2 on one side, I have to take away 2 on the other side. Otherwise, I'm not balanced. So, draw the line. We bring down the x because it still exists. 2 minus 2 is 0. We bring down the equals because it still exists. 6 minus 2 is 4. Okay? Do the same thing. Draw that little fence. What's the opposite of a negative? +3. +3. Okay? Draw the line. We bring down the x because it still exists. 3 minus 3 is 0. We bring down the equal because it exists. 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay? Let's step it up. Okay? You can practice these. And there's also a solo practice where you can try. Actually, let's do one of these because I see a negative. I see this 2 in there. Subtract 3 from both sides. Bring down the 2x. 3 minus 3 goes away. Equal still exists. 6 minus 3 is 3. Now, x is not by itself. What's the opposite of multiply? That's a multiplication. How do we undo a multiplication? What's the opposite of multiply? Divide. Think of your PEMDAS. Okay? 2 divided by 2 is 1, leaving us with x equals, yes, a fraction. Okay? Okay? Opposite of a negative is a positive. Add 1 to both sides, leaving us with 3x equals 9. What's the opposite of multiply? Divide. Divide both sides by 3. Remember, whatever we do to one side, we have to do the other. You can't divide one side and not the other because it won't be balanced. X equals 3. Okay? All right. Now the distributive property. Okay? We have to learn the distributive property. Now, a lot of you have done this, but we need to practice it. Okay? To distribute. When you see parentheses, parenthesis means multiply. Okay? Parenthesis means multiply. So now, wherever you see the 5, you have to multiply it all the way through. 5 times the a gives us 5a. 5 times the 7 gives us 35. And that's equal to 75. Okay? Again, we're going to need to solve it just like we did up above. So draw your little fence. Okay? Bring the 35 over, divide by 5. Okay? Let's try the next one. 5 times a, 5 times 7. Okay? 5 times a, 5 times 7. All right. So now, let's subtract the 35 from both sides. "35s go away, leaving us with 5a. Bring down the equals because it exists. 75 minus 35 is 40. What's the opposite of multiply? Divide. Now there's a lot going on here. Okay, we're all at different skill levels. Okay, so goal number 1. Okay, remember balancing the equation. New learning for some of you today is this idea of the distributive property. We want to get rid of the parenthesis. How do we get rid of a parenthesis? Okay, we have to multiply through. Cool. All right. And now the next page that we worked on in class is this whole idea of the distributive property. Okay? Multiply, 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 multiply. Okay? So you try those. 3 times C is 3C. 3 times 11 is 33. Negative 4 times the R is negative 4R. Negative 4 times the 24. Grab your calculator. Okay? And that's going to be 96. Okay? And the last one, negative 8 times H. Negative 8H. Negative times a negative is a positive. 8 times 16, 8 times 16, 128. 48, carry the 4, 128. All right. So that's what we did in class. We didn't have time to finish them, okay, but we're practicing solving and the distributive property, okay? We'll see you Thursday. Feel free to see me during access time for more help. Bye.